Test 1, 2. All right. Augusto, can you hear me? Or John Orovitz, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. All right. Great. Thank you. I see John Doonan, so we'll put Augusto in the spotlight. We'll add John Doonan to the spotlight, and there's Fabio. We'll put him also in the spotlight. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to be joined by WSC President Marcello Lotti, IMSA President John Doonan, and two-time Rolex 24 at Daytona winner Augusto Farfus to discuss an exciting event that will happen a little later on today from 12:25 to 12:40 p.m. local time here at Daytona. A fully electric Hyundai Veloster N ETCR race car will be turning laps around, demonstration laps around the 3.56 mile road course here in advance of this afternoon's season opening IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge event. So let's start with Augusto, because I know that he's on a tight timeline, because in addition to doing this driving in the demonstration, he also has some commitments in the BMW team RLL M8 GTE that he will be hoping to get his third consecutive Rolex 24 this afternoon, or this weekend. So with that, Augusto, just tell us about this Hyundai ETCR race car, what it's like to drive, and how proud you are to be a part of it.
Well, it is a very unique concept of a race car, of a race series, and I joined this project from fairly early stages, and it is something very exciting. It is very different from everything else I've done. I have to say, the entire ETCR family, together with Hyundai Motorsport, we have done very nice steps and very positive steps along the way. We face many challenges. It's as I said, it's a completely different concept, but the car is fast. I think the concept behind of it is, as I said, very unique, and the cars are able to deliver an extremely nice show because they're very powerful.
Right.
As a lot, as you guys know, the electric delivers immediate power. So when you go to 500 kilowatts, they can become extremely fast. So I'm very excited also to come over to here in Daytona, an icon for a motorsport in North America, to show the car, to showcase the platform. So I'm sure it's going to be a great
fast charge or a replaceable battery.
Sorry, somebody spoke on top of you. I apologize for that.
No problem.
You can continue.
Yeah, so as I said, I think it is a great opportunity to come over to show to race fans a new platform, and the car is fast. It's very, very fast. The acceleration it delivers, it is faster than many of the current combustion race cars. So I think the show, we will put it once the series will start all over the world, is going to be different, but very unique, and I'm sure fans will definitely love it.
Thank you, Augusto. We'll come back to you, I'm sure, with questions here momentarily after we get opening remarks from our other two guests here. Let's move over to Marcello Lotti, again, president of WSC, which organizes TCR all over the world, and has been a good partner with IMSA for, I believe it's 5 years now. So Marcello, from you, could you just, how did the ETCR platform come about, and what are the short and long-term goals for this platform?
Good morning to everybody. And yeah, we start to think at this concept 2 years ago, 2 years and a half. ago. And we decided, because, okay, trend was anyway for automotive world to go in this new energy direction. And we decided why not to start to think of this project to have a full electric touring car with a regulation dedicated to multi-brand. And day by day, we start to choose our supplier. The final one was Williams for the battery and Magellec for the powertrain. We decided to study the concept to in the first step of this concept, that when I say first step, for me is the next also 3 years, including the first 2 of the develop. I have to say that we decided to deliver a complete kit, composed by the battery and powertrain, VCU, DC, all the components that make this move this engine in this kind of car, and deliver the same kit for all the different manufacturers interesting to compete in ETCR. This to control the cost, to have not a huge investment from the manufacturers at the beginning to make their car, and to have also something easy to control, because our idea is to recreate the platform that we had on TCR basic, so to have this regulation adopted in the different regions in the world. In the short term, today is the fact is that we start with pure TCR, that is the world top category and championship and series from ETCR, and we start in 2021 collaboration with Eurosport and Discovery, and for this world series, I want to say, and progressively we are. Our goal is to have and to see other series in America, North America, in China, in Europe, starting from 2022, 2023. This is the plan that we have today. I have to say that the car today is, like Augusto said before, is now can deliver 500 kilowatt, is 680 horsepower, and in rear traction. And I have to say also, in terms of delivery good time on track, today we are faster, more faster compared to the TCR car. And at the meantime, the car can run for close to 50, 60 kilometer race.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcello. Did you have anything else, or do we?
No, it was only for the short term. I told you what's going on now is we finished this. We have other 4 or 5 section testing. Really some delayed for the COVID situation, unfortunately, but we will be on time on June to start with this pure TCR championship, and after that, I think we can announce around June, July. The signature of the agreement with ETCR in Europe and China. And why not? All depend from what's going on. I'm very happy in the future to discuss also with John to see ETCR in US.
Thank you, Marcello. We appreciate that. And again, after we get our opening remark from John Doonan, if anybody has questions, please use the raise hand function, or let me know in the chat, and I'll get over to you to get to you. But before we do that, John, certainly a proud moment for all of us at IMSA to have this car here at the racetrack. Very, very impressive piece of machinery, to be sure. Just tell us about what it means to you and to us, I guess, in more detail about having this car here, and maybe also how this fits into the overall strategy for the IMSA Green platform.
Thank you, Nate, and good morning, everybody. We are thrilled that you're all here with us or joining us from a distance. So appreciate all the media outlets being with us today. It starts really with the proud honor to be partnered with Marcello and his staff at WSC. We are, as you mentioned, Nate, and 4 or 5 years long here in utilizing what has been such a growing platform around the world for manufacturers, and that is the TCR platform. To be able to be part of this initiative today, to demonstrate the Hyundai Veloster N ETCR is very special for all of us at IMSA. As you mentioned, Nate, we have an IMSA Green initiative, which was established to showcase the opportunities that we have with our 18 auto manufacturers, efficiencies, new technologies. Really started with our partners at VP Racing Fuel when they developed IMSA E20 racing fuel. Last year here at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, in partnership with our friends at the ACO, we unveiled LMDH, which is a new top category class that will integrate a single source hybrid system. The link there immediately with Williams, who's the battery supplier on that project and the battery supplier for ETCR and what Marcello has done. To bring that now a year later to do some demonstration with Marcello, his team, the folks at Hyundai, in a beautiful facility like Daytona International Speedway, which has always been a place to showcase speed. Now we're showcasing speed and efficiency. Got to take a look at the car yesterday. It is an amazing piece of machinery. I'm a little jealous of Augusto, who gets to take it around the track here this afternoon. But we're thrilled, and also need to call out our partners at Michelin, who worked very closely with Marcello and his team to add some Michelin pilots to the car to give it a chance to go around the speedway this afternoon. In short, I think this is another example of us in conjunction with Marcello, certainly, but the IMSA platform is based around the partnership of our 18 auto manufacturers and providing a cost-effective marketing tool for the auto industry. Marcello is doing it all over the world. We're honored to be his exclusive partner here in the United States to put TCR and ETCR on the racetrack, and our automotive partners or the market will speak. So we'll continue to work with Marcello and his team on the time that we can bring ETCR hopefully to the IMSA portfolio sooner rather than later.
Thank you, John. We'll go ahead and we'll open it up for questions. First in the room here, we've got John DeGeese. John, go ahead and ask your question.
For John, you mentioned that the market will speak. How realistic, would you think that this could happen in 2022 or 2023, or is there a more specific timeline for a possible launch of this type of series?
Thanks, John. At the moment, no specific stake in the ground or a timeline of a cadence. We have a great deal of overlap in terms of the manufacturers that compete globally with WSC in the TCR program, like Audi, like our friends at Honda, like Hyundai, and several others. So let's see what develops here. But we do plan to continue to pursue this, see what is feasible, and try to do it when it makes the most sense for our automotive manufacturer partners, as well as our race event promoter partners that would have the appropriate time on the calendar during race weekends to implement this.
The pure ETCR format is quite interesting. It's a big departure from what we see right now in circuit racing. Is that something that you would look to adopt, or would you want to have a continued effort around what we see right now with a traditional circuit race?
Well, I think we need again to work with the manufacturers, determine what we could do to implement what meets their objectives. We want to be the platform. We want to be the opportunity in markets that make the most sense for the manufacturer partners. So the work that Marcello and his team have done to get this to become reality is step one. Now it's our responsibility to work with our existing manufacturers to see what they would like to do to leverage the opportunity.
And a question for Marcello, is the pure ETCR formula, is that something that you're envisioning all markets to sort of incorporate, or will each sanctioning body have their own freedom to determine the race format with these cars?
No, what we decide starting especially this season when we start to make different deal with the different promoter, we want to leave freedom promoter to decide format. Like Eurosport Discovery did. They decide to have this format in battle format to be completely new formula. I think exciting one is a mix from a racing, pure racing circuit race, classic, but also in the middle with a rallycross formula, for example, in the battle. And I think could be exciting for the fun. I think this format can help also to show really the potential of the car, because you can run 500 kilowatt really full throttle, and will be a good way to promote this new electric motorsport concept. But we are preparing, and all the promoter knows that they can also choose the classic format of the TCR races now that exist around the world, like WTCR, like TCR, Europe, China, Russia, everywhere. So means both format. We don't want to leave too much freedom to find other format. We are ready to discuss clearly, but today in front of the promoter, we put these two format. Like the pure TCR battle format or the classic TCR touring car race format.
All right, thanks. And one final question for you. There's been 4 manufacturers that have committed to ETCR so far. Are you in talks with I'm sure you're in talks with other manufacturers, but what's the specific target for the short term, for say the next 12 to 24 months in terms of number of manufacturers with cars?
Clearly, when you start with a new project, you have to be a little bit patient. You have to, but I'm a fisherman, so I know, like I have to wait my fish, and I have to say that clearly today we have 4 manufacturers that is commit, and clearly, like you say, we have other manufacturers interested. They are discussing with us. The other manufacturers that can take part also to our technical meeting to understand better. And clearly, like I told you before, we start for 4. Clearly, we look to be, when we start on TCR was also, I start with 3 manufacturers. First time in 2014, end of 2014. I remember when I asked to Mr. Eccleston to be part of Formula 1 event in 2015 with TCR, and he told me what kind of car you have, and I showed to him the picture of the road car, because also racing car was not finished yet, and this was October 2024. And I have to say thank to him because he trusts me, and in April the year after there was 6 car there was 16 car represented 6 brand, and at the first event. So this is a startup program, and this is a startup of our program. So we are quite happy to have 4 manufacturers immediately committed, and let's see what's going on during the 2021.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for the questions, John. As I know that Augusto's time is short, we'll go ahead and get over to him for, let's get any specific questions for Augusto first, and then we can move on to anything else from John Doonan or Marcello. So Jonathan Gitlin, I know you had a question or two for Augusto. Why don't you start us off, and then we'll get over to John Orivets for the same.
Thanks. Hi, Augusto. How's it going?
Very good, thanks.
So I guess really the main thing I'm curious about is, how much do you have to change your driving style for an ETCR car? You know, are there things like, not having engine braking, but you have regen, and you maybe don't have gears, but How does that change the way you approach a lap?
Well, it's quite a lot. I think the first not big, the biggest notable difference is the noise. Of course, you drive a car which is pretty much entire in silence. You can hear the tires. And for me, the biggest difference, besides the weight of the car, which you get fairly quick used to it, it is the fact that you have the two rear wheels. The car is rear wheel drive, and you get the two rear wheels, which are not connected by anything. So we have four motors, two on the left rear and two on the right rear, but that is not a real differential like you would have in a normal race car. So whenever you go on the brakes, you have a car, I used to say, it's like coming in a car extremely fast, putting neutral, and then going on brakes. And this brings a new challenge for the drivers and for the engineers, because every single variation on you have on the brake application, on the balance of the car and the brakes, it becomes a major problem. You don't have an engine brake which overcomes some of these issues in a normal combustion car. So this, for me, it is the biggest difference. You approach the corners extremely fast, because this 500 kilowatt does accelerate the car fairly quick. So you end up approaching a corner in completely science and super fast. So once you hit the brakes, you realize the speed you're doing, and that's the biggest challenge, because as the format currently are fairly short, you have to drive the car, let's say, pretty hard. There is no energy management for the moment. There is no so much this lift and coast and saving energy like we see in different electric formulas. So this puts an extra pressure to the drivers and to the engineers, because we have to develop a real race car with a real sprint spirit of attacking every lap. So this, for me, currently, it is the biggest challenge I have faced on an electric car.
Thank you. That's all I got for you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Let's move over to John Oryovitz. John, go ahead for Augusto.
Thanks. Good morning, bom dia. Augusto.
Yeah.
I just kind of a general question. You've participated in developing cars before, but it's always been in a traditional sense with traditional technology. I just want to know how you feel about the fact that you're at the forefront of developing new future technology that we're going to see moving forward.
Well, honestly, the first time I've been invited to be part of it, I felt a little bit like a beginner, because I literally had to take a safety course on how to approach about all the safety measurements you have on the car. And this was already the first step, where I was like first day at school. And then the entire read of the car and the entire behavior of the car, it is completely different. The only experience I can transfer, of course, it is my experience on the team building, on the develop process of a project, of a new car, on trying to help and trying to lead the various group on the departments in the company, with Marcello as well, trying to address the direction, the problems. But driving itself the car, the only experience I can take over from all my years on race cars are the pure drivability. So control steer, understeer, hitting the apex, racing lines, racing experience, because all the technology from traction control, I mean, the car has no gears, let's say. So this is already a bigger change for a driver. You drive only in one gear throughout the track, and this already gives you a different perspective of drivability. And all the systems you have on the car, they are very unique. And I'm extremely keen and honored to be part of it. Thanks to Doonan Motorsport to allow me to be part on these early stages, because for me it has been an extremely pleasant learning curve, a learning stage together with Marcello. And it makes me extremely proud knowing that this will lead to a new series, a new technology, which could be transferred also to, on the long term, to normal road cars, who knows, and so on. So I enjoy every lap I do, and I'm still learning together with all the engineers around me. We are learning together a completely new product, a new race car, which, as I said earlier the interview, it is going to deliver, I'm pretty sure, an extremely nice show all over the world. So this I'm extremely keen of my role right now.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, John. Any additional or final questions for Augusto? If not, we'll let him get on with his practice session starting here in a few minutes, and we'll shift back over to John Doonan and to Marcello. I'm not seeing any additional ones for you, Augusto. So thank you for joining us. You can disconnect. We'll keep.
Well,
John.
let me just thank IMSA and John and Marcello for this opportunity. For me, it is an honor to showcase the car here in such a beautiful facility in one of the biggest motorsport events in the world. So thanks so much for this opportunity. And now I get back the wheel. That is a long week ahead of me. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Augusto. So Jonathan Gitlin, I'll go back to you. You have your choice, John Doonan or Marcello.
I guess it's probably one for John. I was just curious, is this the first time an electric race car will have lapped at Daytona?
That is correct. On the road course, we're excited and honored to have this be the first time that a fully electric race car will have taken a lap and a demonstration lap, certainly not in competition, but we're thrilled to be part of this today. This is the kind of monumental historic moments that we want to be part of in both the IMSA and the NASCAR family. So again, when an automaker utilizes one of our platforms to tell a story from a marketing standpoint or from a new technology standpoint, that's right up our overall company strategy, and really excited that we could be part of this today, as Mr. Farfus said, at one of the most iconic facilities in the world, at one of the most iconic events in the world.
Thanks, Jonathan. Did you have another one for either John or Marcello?
No, I'm good. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jonathan. Let's go to John Oyevitz.
Thank you, Nate. I'd like to ask Marcello. I'm fairly new to all this, but I've tried to study up on it a little bit. Your regulations seem to offer a lot of freedom, to the point that the Hyundai has rear drive in a completely different configuration from the street car. Are you surprised at how radical that car is, and do you expect to see continued creative engineering solutions?
Yeah, I think is a freedom, but not really so much freedom. So clearly, there's a little job to do from the production car in terms of chassis to fix of the battery. I think that clearly this experience that all the engineering or manufacturers involved can have linked to the ETCR project. I think clearly tomorrow could be also a good experience to move on the normal road car, but today we are the most surprise from us was the performance of the car, that when we start to design the technical regulation, clearly until the first real dynamic test, we didn't know exactly what was the performance of the car on track. And I have to say, yes, we were good surprise of the performance of the car. And like was also not, I don't want to say easy, because it's not easy at all, but clearly like was not so difficult to achieve a performance with this kind of new energy, a new technology, full electric car. So, and this was the point.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Any additional questions? Like I said, let me know in the chat or use the raise hand. And we can get to you. Give it a second here to see if anybody else pops up, and if not, we will go ahead and shut it down. Not seeing any. So John, Marcello, congratulations. Thank you both very much for joining us. And we're really, really looking forward, obviously, to seeing this car get out there on the racetrack here in an hour and a half or so.
Thank Nate. I want only to keep the opportunity to say thank to John also for this perfect organization, I have to say, of this promo of the ETCR here in IMSA, especially in this event that clearly we decided to be here, and we asked John to welcome us here because we retain the 24-hour Rolex really is one of the top of the event, clear, especially in America, but wide world is full of. And for us, I have to say thank again, and thank to Hyundai that is provide all the stuff here and the car to give us the opportunity to make this promo action here in IMSA. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. And the partnership beyond what we're going to do this afternoon with the ETCR car has continued to get deeper and deeper. Marcello, and the ability for our technical staff and your technical staff to work together in a shared vision of continuing to have a level playing field across the world is very special. So we're glad to have you. Thanks again to all the folks from the media outlets who've joined us. Without you all, we can't continue to tell these stories. And so we're very appreciative of your work, and everybody stay safe, and let's battle this thing, the pandemic, and get back to normal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.